Century New England Patriots, who like Drake Maye getting off the Patriots plane there, so much that they reportedly turned down multiple firsts, which I don't necessarily love. Mike Reese writing, New York Giants had offered 6 and their 2025 first rounder, while the Vikings offered 11, 23, and a 2025 first rounder. Hello. I mean, in exchange for the 3rd pick and 2 mid-round selections from New England.
Yeah.
Okay. We really like this guy, turns out. You think this was a mistake?
I think turning down the Giants trade is a grievous error. I think you could have set yourself up for the Bears Caleb Williams type of trade, where you trade back, maintain a first-round pick. We'll talk about what you could do with that 6th pick in a moment. And then you have the chip of, I have the first-round pick of a team that's probably going to be the worst in football next year. Because the Giants next year, starting a raw 21-year-old Drake.
They're starting Daniel Jones.
No, not if they trade up for Drake Maye.
I believe they are.
They would still.
Because he still got 1 year guaranteed money.
So
I think they let this guy sit.
I don't think that, but regardless,
Maybe it's like an Eli Kurt Warner thing.
Keep in mind, we're now talking about a Giants team that has lost Saquon, that didn't use their first-round pick to add a talented player, that has the offensive line issues, doesn't have Malik Neighbors, and you're sitting with a lottery ticket. And if I were Elliott Wolf and I wasn't the interim GM, I was the real adult GM, not interviewing for my job, the ability to trade 3 to 6 and pick up the Giants' first rounder and then call Minnesota and say, hey, you offered me 11, 23, and next year's first for 3. How about just 11 and 23 for 6? And then you're New England. And at 11, you can take either the best defensive player in the draft, or the 3rd offensive lineman off the board, add somebody at 23, and have your first-round pick next year, which will be good, and the Giants, that's how you get 4 blue-chip players, potentially the number 1 pick of next year's draft. Instead, you took, right or wrong, the 3rd quarterback off the board. Yeah. Now, maybe he was the Patriots' 2nd quarterback on their board, I don't know, but he was the 3rd quarterback off the board. So, yes, I think it was a huge mistake. Huge mistake.
I agree. I think they could have taken either trade, and it would have been better than what they did. Because, and I don't know, we'll see what Drake Maye is, but I don't think they're built to accommodate a young quarterback. Like, I think go out and get the pieces around it. Build your football team so that when you do draft that quarterback, and right now, who's number 1 next year on the boards, the mock drafts? Shedeur Sanders. The year after him, Archman. I'm just saying, get yourself in position that when you do draft that young quarterback, you've got the pieces to help him be great. Like, Chicago has the pieces now.
Can I tell you why Chicago was willing to do that? One of the reasons?
Why?
Let me say this nicely. Chicago doesn't win. Chicago doesn't win.
Well, they won it back in 85.
Okay, yeah.
85.
No, that's...
We are hungry to win.
Right.
And we are on year 5.
You're not going to win.
But
we're in year 5 of the rebuild. So some people view it as like, you're in year 1 post-Belichick. We're actually year 5 post-Brady. We are hungry to start the rebuild.
The
idea of delaying it till year 6.
Hold on, what is your mantra? Your rally cry, your war cry is the drive for 5 wins. What are you talking about?
I've amended that.
Oh, really? Next year you're going to be in the playoffs?
Or more.
Okay, but can I give a counterpoint to that? I think under what I'm suggesting, because I don't agree with Brew in this regard, that to me the Giants trade and the Vikings trade 2 very different deals. Because I do understand, gosh darn it, we need to be able to be drafting high to draft a quarterback. And the Vikings' future first, I don't think the Vikings are going to bottom out. The Vikings just went through quarterback hell this year.
They got a good team, but is everybody in that division going to win 10 games?
No, but if they win 7 games, you're not going to get a top 5 pick. But the point I'm trying to make is this. I think you guys would win more games this year under my plan with Jacoby Brissett starting. Yeah. You might be starting Jacoby Brissett this year anyway.
He should start.
And so I just think you getting these foundational pieces and.
Okay, but then why are you so confident if Brissett is going to start and Drake Maye will sit? Then why are you so confident that Daniel Jones would not play and Drake Maye would start for the Giants? So his whole idea, and I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but you're banking on Drake Maye playing that first year, not being able to play well, and that then the Giants bottom out, and then now you get this great pick. Also, I'm not so sure that Shedeur Sanders is this unbelievable quarterback that everyone's trying to make him out to be. I do not believe that, so I don't think that there's a Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes like there was for the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. He's got bust potential.
It is a unique fan experience where your team's in a rebuild, but you get to root for wins because the draft pick you care about is someone else.
Yeah.
Like you're a Pats fan this year and you're just rooting against the Giants and for the Patriots. That's a fun 17 Sundays. Like, I just think they should have done.
We got Josh Allen 2.0, so I think.
Okay.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the other point that I want to bring up. Because first off, okay, I'm not going to ever pretend like I know exactly what to do in the draft and trading back 2 spaces and getting this guy versus that guy. I'm just not going to pretend. These guys on TV always like to act like it's so easy, which is why every team's so amazing, right? But the truth is that Nick mapped out a perfect scenario, right? A perfect scenario where they will be able to get some picks. They're going to build this roster, and the Giants are going to bottom out, and then the Patriots will be able to draft, first or second next season, and then boom, they're going to be able to draft a great quarterback, ready to go. Now they have the pieces and the quarterback, and then they'll be able to hit the ground running. Yeah, that sounds great if it actually unfolds that way. But I think that they would not start Drake Maye. I think they would start Daniel Jones, and I think they would want to develop Maye, especially with Brian Daboll. I don't think they would want to try him out because they know that the Giants don't have a lot going on there, and they know what happened with Daniel Jones, and they're not trying to have a repeat situation with that. Brian Daboll is not some dumb guy, okay? He knows what he's doing offensively, although obviously the Giants are struggling, but I don't think that's necessarily on him. He's been dealt, a pretty rocky organization. So that's that. The other side is, if you believe in Drake Maye, then you drafted him. Then you draft him. If you believe in him, if you think this guy is legit, I'm not going to say what if Shedeur Sanders, what if Archie Manning. I don't know who those guys are, theoretically. Obviously, I know who they are. But I'm just saying, I don't know what these guys will be. But I know Drake Maye. I know I like him. I know he's got potential. We're excited about him. We think that he has true potential. And if we now trade back, we don't get to get him, and we get some defensive player or whatever, and then now we have no idea what's going to happen. We're now really hoping that the Giants fumble the bag, not to mention, let's say Drake Maye is really amazing like we think he is, and we trade him, and now he does start right away for the Giants, and you know what? He plays pretty darn good. And now we have, I don't know, the 10th pick in the draft, the 11th pick, whatever it may be. Now you're screwed. Now you have a bunch of nice pieces, and now you're like, well, should we sign Dak Prescott? Dak Prescott's available for $60 million a year. I don't know why you do that. So now you get to draft Maye, who you think is, again, if you think that he's great, well, then that is the plan that you build on. You don't do a plan B. You say, I think he is legit and he has the potential to be a legitimate star in the NFL. We want him, so we're going to draft him. Would you take that trade, Nick Wright, for Patrick Mahomes? If the Kansas City Chiefs, if someone went to the Kansas City Chiefs and said, hey, we want your pick, we're going to give you this and that and this and that, you get to have Alex Smith, and we're a bad team. We're the Carolina Panthers. We're going to be bad. We're going to be bad. So you might get the number 1 pick next draft. Go ahead. Who's better, Patrick Mahomes or any of the other quarterbacks that were drafted after him in the next year's drafts? We know the answer. So that would have been a devastating move for the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's why you have to go by what you believe in. If you believe in your quarterback, then that's the decision that you have to make. And if it ends up being the wrong decision, honestly, that's okay. You're better off doing that and being wrong than doing the other move and being wrong. Because now you could be wrong many more different ways. Either Drake Maye could end up being a great quarterback and now you pass on him for another quarterback in the future. That's a mistake. Or Drake Maye ended up not being that good of a quarterback, which is okay. But now you're still relying on this other team, and now you're not getting any other good quarterback in the next couple of drafts because of the draft picks that you made. And sure, you have a good team now, but now you're still a headless chicken. You're still now like, okay, I guess, do we try to get, again, do we sign Dak? I don't know, hey, Justin Fields, no one really wants him, and he didn't really get a chance to play with the Steelers. Like, he might be pretty legit. Like, you're still playing this game. So at least this way, you're taking a shot on the quarterback that you did your due diligence on. You did all the math, you did all the science, you did all the talent scouting, you did all this, and your team said, we like this guy. And at the very least, you learn how accurate your team is. You learn how accurate that organization is at evaluating that talent. Because if they're wrong, then now you know. You're now building that up to say, okay, you know what? That's a check against you. I don't know if I need to move on from you people in the front office. We might need to reevaluate who we got making these decisions. Like, it's all data. It's all important parts of the journey of becoming a good team. So that's why I think it's okay to stay with Maye, because if you think that he's a good quarterback, then you should stand pat. Because again, would you want to get rid of Patrick Mahomes? I don't think so. Would you want to get rid of Josh Allen? I don't think so. Would you want to get rid of Joe Burrow? I don't think so. We can think of all these other stories of these quarterbacks failing, right? If it was the Jets and the Jets had the opportunity to pass on Zach Wilson and get another bunch of picks and this or that, then you would say, well, see, that worked out for them. We could always pick and highlight a perfect scenario. But that's not the way it works. So at the end of the day, it's really exactly like life. You have to make a decision and make an evaluation of what you think is going to help you and put you in the best possible situation. You have no idea if you're going to be right or wrong, but at the very least, it's your choice, and you're now not putting the responsibility or the chance in someone else's hands. And that's what Nick was saying. He was saying you get to root against the Giants and root for your team. That's putting your destiny in the hands of someone else. That is not a good place to be. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you think? Do you think this was a big mistake by New England? What do you think about Drake Maye? Do you think he'll be a legitimate quarterback in the NFL? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.